Good evening, Belize. It's Wednesday night and you're tuned in to News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly. Here's what we're following tonight. Former Police Commissioner Chester Williams breaks his silence on the execution of Tyrone Maine, offering heartfelt condolences to the grieving mother. Is the government finally cracking down on motorcycle-related crimes? We've got that update. Plus, 3 years after his shocking murder, the men accused of killing Winston Tanga James are heading to trial. And in Orange Walk, an invasive species known as the devilfish is showing up in the New River. What threat does it pose to the already stressed waterway? Also, if you're planning to move a house along the highway, think again. The Transport Department says no more daytime moves. All that and more coming up in just 60 seconds. Stay with us. News 5 starts now.
Easy, accessible, safe, yours. Digi Wallet, easy, accessible, safe, yours.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Welcome back. Earlier this week, we brought you the story of Tyrone Maine, a well-known street figure gunned down in broad daylight. Tonight, former Police Commissioner Chester Williams is speaking out. He's reflecting on his time working closely with the Maine family during his years in law enforcement. Williams says he had countless run-ins with the brothers, both as Eastern Division Commander and later as head of the Belize Police Department. And while he understands the harsh realities of the streets, he says his heart goes out to Tyrone's mother.
May I make it categorically and emphatically clear? I favored none of the groups in Belize City. I worked with every one of them the same way. And I have always tried my utmost best, whether in my capacity as OCED then or as Commissioner of Police, to do as best as I can to preserve the lives of our young men on our streets. And if that required me to work overtime with them in providing guidance and mentorship to them, I do that. At the end of the day, we're speaking about saving lives. And I believe that as a society, we should all have that same goal to try as best as we can to save our young people. I would like to see, Jules, that you would take one of these streets figures' son under your wings and maybe give them a Channel 7 scholarship to go to school, or even Channel 5, you know, to show that even as members of the media, you're doing your best, because while the father figures of these ones who are growing up may have lost their way, we can still do what we can to capture the younger ones. So for us to maybe take the son or the daughter of one of these figures under our wings and give them a scholarship to go to school, that goes a very long way. So it's something that I like the media to think about. Each media house can take one, and then we see how we go from there. I do empathize with his mother and his family, as I would normally do when any of the young men are killed. You know, at the end of the day, Jules, you'll realize that we work so much with these young men that we feel that they're a part of us, and when they are killed, we feel it, because we have spent so much time with them. We have invested time and energy and money into them, and so when they die, you know, on our streets, it's really hard for us. Brother Nuri, Brother Futi, Brother Sticks, you know, you speak to them, they will tell you that we take it hard too, but we do understand the nature of how the street works. Sometimes we are only delaying the inevitable because of the lifestyle that they live.
If you're a motorcycle enthusiast or know someone who is, you'll want to pay close attention to this story next. The Department of Transport is considering hitting the brakes on issuing new motorcycle licenses. Why? Well, it's all about safety. With a growing number of motorcycle-related accidents, officials say it's time to rethink how we approach two-wheeled travel on our highways. CEO of the Ministry of Transport, Chester Williams, says a moratorium could give the ministry the breathing room it needs to craft a solid long-term strategy. So what could this mean for current and future riders?
Just on Monday, we discussed, myself and my minister and the chief transport officer, and I proposed to the minister for us to have a moratorium on the issuing of license for motorcycles. Motorcycles are certainly becoming an issue. Yes, I know it is not going to be within the sole prerogative of our ministry to make that decision, but we are going to propose to Cabinet for there to be a moratorium for us to do a more comprehensive studies in terms of what we need to do to enhance road safety where motorcycles are concerned. There are several issues surrounding motorcycles, and like you rightly pointed out, Paul, the fact that they are used by some to engage in criminal activities is a major concern. The fact that we have a number of our young people dying on our highways on motorcycle due to reckless use of motorcycle is another major issue. And so we have to look at both of these issues and see what we can do to be able to make the riding of motorcycles on our highway more safer. We have discussed to see if we can come up with a plan where, in order for you to get a driver's license for a motorcycle, you must undergo a 2 to 3 weeks motorcycle riding course. We're hoping that there are going to be people, entrepreneurs, who may wish to open a school to teach people to ride motorcycles, and in order for you to get the license to ride the motorcycle, you will have to be certified by a certified institution. And so these are things that we're looking at. We're also looking at trying to see how we can get the Bureau of Standard to come up with a standard certified helmet that motorcycle riders must use, because this practice where they just use a bicycle helmet that's just fit on top of their head needs to be do away with. It is not a proper helmet. It does not protect them in the case of an accident, and so that is one thing that we also need to try to see how we can address. Again, we do understand that motorcycles is the poor man transportation, and we're hoping that if we do get the go-ahead for the moratorium, it shouldn't be for too long. I think in about a month, 2 months' time, we should be able to come up with a more comprehensive plan in terms of how we move forward to make sure that those persons who ride motorcycles on our highway are safe. Again, we need to look at the vendors of the motorcycles. The law is clear that in order to sell a motorcycle, you must sell a helmet with it. The question is, are the vendors selling helmet with the motorcycles? And if the answer is yes, what type of helmets are they selling?
Over in Honduras, riding shotgun on a motorcycle could land you in trouble, and Belize might be next. The Honduran government recently rolled out new restrictions banning passengers from motorcycles in certain areas and at specific times, all in a bid to crack down on crime. And now Belize is considering a similar move. This idea is gaining serious traction. News 5 has covered multiple shooting incidents where 2 people on a motorcycle were involved, with a passenger often pulling the trigger. So could this be the next step in Belize's crime-fighting strategy? CEO Williams weighs in on the growing conversation.
Certainly, we are looking at what Honduras did recently, and I saw the Honduras move. And when I saw it, I sent it right away to the Minister of Home Affairs. And I said to him if he thinks that we should consider doing this in Belize, where Honduras have now banned the pillion rider. So on a motorcycle in Honduras, only one person can ride. And again, it's because of the same thing. Where you have the rider, you have the pillion rider is normally the gunman. So they did that move as a means of safety to try and quell some of the issues that they were having with gunmen riding on motorcycles and go and perpetrate the criminal acts. So again, in the discussion that we're having to amend the law to make it more stringent where motorcycles are concerned, we are including the police as a part of the dialogue. Again, we're also looking at other things like, for example, the helmet that is worn by the rider and the pillion rider must bear the license plate number of the motorcycle. So again, we know that the helmet is good, but there is also the evil aspect behind the helmet, where the helmet is used by the gunmen to conceal their identity. So you conceal your identity, you will not be able to recognize because of the helmets. You put this license plate on the helmet, so once we see the license plate on the helmet, we can know exactly who the cycle belongs to. We'll be able to trace the cycle through the license plate. And the law is going to be clear if you go down that route, that you will not be allowed to loan your helmet to anybody. If you loan your helmet to anybody and they go and use it to commit a crime, the onus is then going to be on you to prove that you were not the gunman at that particular moment.
Remember that controversial case involving former police officer DeAndre Reed? The one where he shot and killed the Governor General's dog while on duty? Well, there's been a major update. The Belize Advisory Council has ruled that Reed's dismissal was invalid. Reed was fired in 2024 by then Commissioner of Police Chester Williams after the incident, which Reed later explained in detail on social media. He claimed the dog charged at him twice and that he fired in self-defense. Reed later appealed the dismissal, arguing it was unfair and violated due process. Now the council agrees. So what does former Compa Williams think about the decision? We asked him.
I am not surprised, or I should not feel a way that a decision that I made was overturned. And while I do accept what the Advisory Council did, may I say that they said in their letter several breaches, but they only cited one. When the lack of same thing, notices. Come up to the same thing. In law, there is what you refer to as mandatory rules and directory rules. Mandatory rules are those rules of law that if there is a breach of those rules, it would render the decision null and void. And the directory rules are those where if they are not followed, the decision shall not be deemed null and void. The notices in the disciplinary rules are not mandatory. Those are directory rules. And so a breach of those rules should not have rendered the results of the tribunal null and void. If you notice, the Advisory Council did not touch anything else in terms of the process of the tribunal, and to say that the commissioner decision in upping the penalty and dismiss was wrong. They didn't go down that road. They based their decision based simply on the fact that these two directory rules were not followed. It's like to say, if a policeman were to come right now and assault you with a gun, are you to say that in dealing with that police, if the department fails to give him that 5 days or 7 days notice, you are not assaulted? No. And that should not render the case against that police officer to be considered null and void or be set aside if you were to be convicted. It set bad precedents. Nonetheless, I'm guided and respect the Advisory Council position, and it has nothing to do with the fact that at a GG. It could have been your dog. And so, like I said, I came in after the fact. So to say that it was dealt with summarily by me, or me didn't know, you're wrong.
Coming up, pregnancy delays Jasmine Harton's court case again. More when we return.
Introduction of redesigned banknotes. Does this affect the value of the Belize dollar? The answer is no. The design of the banknotes does not determine its value. While the new banknotes will look different, their value remains exactly the same. In accordance with the Central Bank Act, the Belize currency is pegged at 2 Belize dollars to $1 US, and that has not changed. Rest assured, whether you are holding one of our current notes or a new one, a dollar is still a dollar. The value of your money remains stable, backed by the strength of our nation's economy. New look, same value. Learn more at www.centralbank.org.bz. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
This is the new era of the Mexican Caribbean. A whole spectrum of colors and hues, multi-dimensional cuisine, holographic beaches. The true new era is within you.
On July 10th, 2025, Belize Electricity Limited and Blair Atoll Power Company Limited signed a historic power purchase agreement for the development of a 15-megawatt utility-scale solar plant, complete with a 1.5 megawatt, 3 megawatt-hour battery storage system. This project represents a significant milestone in building a cleaner, more sustainable, and resilient electricity grid.
Today's signing is the furthest we have ever come down the road of realizing the needed facilities and our own ambitions for harnessing the power of the sun. This PPA provides a model in which everybody, BEL, Babcock, and consumers win, and that is how it should be. We have every confidence that Babcock can and will bring this project home, and BEL publicly offers whatever support it can to realize this goal.
What we learn here will set the foundation for future projects, including solar, wind, hybrid systems, and even other emerging developing technologies, renewable energy technologies, that Belize will need if we are going to remain competitive and resilient.
BEL and Babcock will collaborate closely to develop and commission the plant within 12 to 18 months from the start of construction. Once operational, the solar plant will supply clean, renewable energy directly to the national grid, strengthening Belize's energy security and diversifying our national energy mix.
Yo, what's up, bro? Just Western Union moms a little money using DigiWallet. Uncle in the States paid me too, same app using DigiWallet. Bro, this is too easy. I can do this from anywhere. No lines, no hassle, just easy. All right, gotta run, bro. Take it easy.
Welcome to Design Depot, where you'll find premium quality products from trusted brands, all in one place. Visit us today for quality products, expert service, and the brands you trust. Design Depot, all in one place.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Josetún presenta Los Cumbia Kings. Los Cumbia Kings en concierto. Este 30 de agosto en el Estadio del Pueblo, Orange World Belice. Los Cumbia Kings en vivo. No tengo dinero ni nada que dar. No te pierdas el concierto del año que te hará bailar como nunca. General 150, VIP 200 y Platino $350. Boletos a la venta en la aplicación WePass, disponible en Android y iPhone. También con Orange Drag con cuellos, Shell One Stop, Marías Café, Lifestyle Beauty Salon y WSK Call Center al 611-3677. Amor Turquesa, Boutique Belmopá. Gracias al patrocinio de
BTV, Mechas, Cuellos, Lock and Loaded, Mark Production, Quick Pass, Lighthouse,
Instituto Nacional de Cultura e Historia y Smart Belice.
Jasmine Harton's long-running court case has been delayed again, this time because she's pregnant. Her attorney, Arthur Saldivar, told the court she's dealing with health issues and can't travel. The case, which began in San Pedro in 2021 and was later moved to Belize City, involves drug and assault charges. Saldivar is challenging the delay, arguing Harton's constitutional right to a timely trial has been violated. He's filed a case-stated application to take the matter to the High Court. The magistrate has given the prosecution until September 15th to respond, with the next hearing set for October 1st. Winston Tanga James was gunned down in broad daylight just moments after leaving his attorney's office in Belize City back in January 2022. He was shot multiple times, crashed his vehicle, and died on the scene. His common-law wife, Mary Beth Wade, was also injured in the attack. Now, more than 3 years later, two alleged George Street gang affiliates, Azane Domingo and Eustace Lewis, have been committed to stand trial in the High Court this October for murder and abetment to murder. Domingo, still without legal representation, faces 4 indictable charges, including the attempted murder of Wade. Lewis, represented by attorney Ellis Arnold, was granted bail and released. The prosecution has submitted over 25 witness statements and documents, with Wade expected to be the Crown's key witness. Neither man challenged the evidence during today's preliminary inquiry before Chief Magistrate Deborah Rogers. Bus fares in the north could be going up, or at least that's what some commuters are saying. 7 bus companies have reportedly proposed a fare hike, and passengers claim they're already being charged in new prices. But hold on, Transport CEO Chester Williams says not so fast. According to him, bus fares are regulated, and no company can just raise prices on their own. In fact, he calls it illegal. Williams is urging commuters not to pay more than what's officially approved. If you're being overcharged, speak up.
May I make it clear that the bus fares are regulated by law? There is an SI that clearly outlined what are the fees that buses are to charge from one point to another. I think that SI came out in 2017. And in the SI, it shows that bus rate from Belize City to Orange Walk, for example, should be, I think, $7 or $7.50. $7. The Express is $8. They now propose to charge, I think, $7.50, which is 50 cents higher than what the law stipulates. Now, they are justifying this to say that in 2022, the government had approved via a press release the increase of bus fares. May I say that the fact that the bus fares are regulated by law, the change in the fares cannot be done by way of a press release. It must be done in like manner by way of an SI. There is no SI, or there was no SI issued in 2022 changing the rates from what they were in 2017. And so the increase in fares that these companies have implemented is illegal and shall be considered void. The Chief Transport Officer is going to address the issue with the bus companies. I believe that they were sent individual letters informing them that the fees increase was illegal and for them to stand down. I want to advise the bus companies that if they wish to increase fares, and we have to be fair to them, we do understand that inflation has gone up, fuel price has gone up, and so there may be a justifiable need for the increase, but there is a right way to do it.
I don't want to be speculative, but suppose these bus operators say, okay, we can increase the price. Well, it don't make sense. We do business for our loss, and we just say, we park the bus, we're going to strike. What then would you do? Because then we'd have a national transport crisis.
Well, if they go on strike, that is within their right. I am sure that there are many other bus companies who would be more than happy to take up the runs that they are currently operating.
Back in late June, a young life was cut short along the George Price Highway. 16-year-old high school student Tyrell Cardenas lost his life after being hit by a Floralia bus in Hattieville. While the Ministry of Transport isn't directly involved in the investigation, the incident has led to serious reflection. CEO Chester Williams says it's time to take a closer look at who's behind the wheels. Specifically, how young is too young to be driving a passenger bus? He believes the driver in this case may have been too inexperienced, and that could have led to changes in the rules moving forward.
At this time, the only thing we're looking at basically is the age of the driver. We believe that the driver of the bus at that particular moment was too young to be able to drive a bus of that size. So we're looking at reviewing the laws and to perhaps increase the age to get a license to drive a public transportation, i.e. a bus.
Well, that didn't take long. Just a week after brand new chairs were installed at the Belize City bus terminal, one of them has already broken. And now questions are swirling about whether the Ministry of Transport got what it paid for. But CEO Chester Williams isn't having it. He says the chairs aren't of a low quality at all, and instead he's calling on commuters to treat the new additions with a little more care. After all, they're meant to make the wait a bit more comfortable.
One chair seemingly had broken. According to the terminal manager, the commuters come, they slam themselves into the chair. They do all kind of things with the chairs. We have to find a way that we can perhaps regulate or control to a greater extent the use of the chairs. Maybe putting some signs up in the terminal and say to people, do not slam in the chair, do not this, do not that. We have to find a way. I must say that those chairs are not of inferior quality. Those chairs are of great quality. These are the same type of chairs that are used in the Maya Ailania terminal in San Pedro. They have been there for many years and they have no difficulty with them. These chairs are complete metal and they have the sponge or the padded aspect of it where people sit and rest their back to make it comfortable. When we bought these chairs, we had two other options. And of the three options we had, because this one that we bought and then the other two, this one that we got was of the better quality. The others, maybe I know that I don't break up completely, right? So we try to look at the ones that are most sturdier to be able to purchase. We did that. We're still seeing that people are damaging them. We have to find ways to take better care. And I want to call upon the commuters and say to them that what we're doing to the terminal is for their benefits. It's to make their experience more better. And we must all have civic pride. These things belong to us. They've been purchased on public funds. So we must take good care of them. If we don't take care of them, they're not going to last, and then we go back to where we used to be.
After the break, invasive devilfish threatens Belize's rivers. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
Introducción de billetes rediseñados. ¿Alterará este rediseño el valor del dólar beliceño? La respuesta es no. El diseño de los billetes no determina su valor. Aunque los nuevos billetes se verán diferentes, su valor sigue siendo exactamente el mismo. De acuerdo con la ley del Banco Central, la moneda de Belice está fijada a $2 beliceños por $1 estadounidense, y eso no ha cambiado. Tengan la seguridad de que ya sea que tengan uno de los billetes actuales o uno nuevo, $1 sigue siendo $1. El valor de su dinero permanece estable, respaldado por la fortaleza de la economía de nuestra nación. Nueva imagen, mismo valor. Para obtener más información, visite www.centralbank.org.bz. Un comunicado del Banco Central de Belice.
favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to Smart Code 585. Here are this week's contestants.
Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong.
So when you're feeling down, just not forget for prayer. When things seem bad, He will always make a way. His love is for real and it is here to stay. Keep you on His spots and never make you go astray. Me have to say, I can't live without you. I can't breathe without you. Oh God, I wouldn't be me without you now.
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here all through, yeah, there's a place out there for people like you.
Hands and proclaim, my God, how great Thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to Thee.
With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight, and don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on Greater Belize Media.
BTB Accommodation License Renewal 2025 opens August 1st through the online portal. BTB is also having a license renewal clinic countrywide, starting August 15 in Orange Walk, then in Key Cocker, San Pedro, Hopkins, Placencia, Belize City, San Ignacio, Toledo, Corozal, and Belmopan. Remember, to successfully process your renewal at the clinic, managers with portal access must bring updated electronic copies of renewal requirements. Licenses will be ready the same day at the clinic. Accommodations operating beyond October 31st, 2025 without completing renewal process will receive a violation ticket. As stated in Section 12.5 of the Hotels and Tourist Accommodation Act, HTAA, operating without a valid license commits an offense. For more information, please contact our compliance officers at 227-2420 extension pound 290 or email hotels@BelizeTourismBoard.org. Renew your BTB accommodations license through the online portal starting August 1st, 2025, or look out for the renewal clinic near you.
This is where blue innovation meets green ambition and orange creativity thrives. Join us for the Belize Investment Summit 2025, September 3rd to 5th at the Sunset Caribe in San Pedro. This is the future of regional integration, and it starts here. Whether you're returning home, expanding regionally, or entering new markets, Belize welcomes you. Why Belize? Why now? Belize Investment Summit 2025, Bridging Markets, Building Resilience. September 3rd to 5th, Sunset Caribe, San Pedro. Visit investmentsummit.bz to register and be part of shaping the investment frontier.
We just take the coast out.
Belize is on the move. The Coastal Road is now powered by Digi's ever-expanding 4G LTE Advanced Network. Now you can stream that music, track that storm, or stop to send that file. Digi 4G LTE has got you covered. Digi, leading Belize's digital transformation.
The government of Belize is defending its plan to overhaul the country's tax system, insisting that the Belize Tax Service Department is not only well managed, but thriving. But as the transition to a new semi-autonomous revenue authority moves ahead, questions remain. Why now? Who benefits most, and can the government guarantee that no public officers will be left behind? Officials say the BTSD has consistently hit and even surpassed its tax collection targets, earning praise both locally and internationally. GOB says that since its creation, the department has invested heavily in staff training and modern systems to improve service and efficiency. The move to a semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA, approved by Cabinet in 2022, is part of a broader plan to modernize tax administration. The transition is backed by regional experts from CARTAC and supported by the IDB, which has already helped fund key upgrades like the Iris Belize portal and new revenue management system. The government says the reforms are already paying off. Belize's tax to GDP ratio jumped from almost 9% in 2019 to 15.6% in 2024, all without raising tax rates. Importantly, GOB is assuring public officers that no jobs will be lost in the transition. Current BTSD staff will be offered better terms under SARA, and those who opt out will be redeployed elsewhere in the public service. The government says SARA will be more efficient, more accountable, and better equipped to serve taxpayers, all while remaining fully transparent and under the oversight of the Ministry of Finance. It's a big win for Belize's shrimp industry, and it could be the start of something huge. Belize has signed an export agreement with Taiwan, opening the door for local shrimp producers to tap into one of the world's largest shrimp markets. It's a breakthrough for an industry that's been slowly bouncing back after years of setbacks. But can Belize's private sector keep up with the demand and deliver high volumes consistently? News 5's Paul Lopez takes a closer look at what this deal means and whether our producers are ready to rise to the challenge.
10 years ago, things took a nosedive when a viral infection called early mortality syndrome devastated shrimp farms across the country. Production hit rock bottom and the industry struggled to stay afloat. But fast forward to 2023 and there's been a turnaround. Thanks to new sanitation technology that clears out harmful organic material, farms have been able to fight back against the disease, and it's working. Now there's even more good news. Taiwan, a country that spends $349 million every year on shrimp imports, has officially opened this market to Belize. Alvin Henderson, managing director at Royal Mayan Shrimp Farm, says this is a game changer for the entire economy.
Taiwan is a coveted market. Taiwan, while it's a very sophisticated market and the standards are stringent, it's also a very well-paying market. And for those who enjoy the FTA status, like we do now under this agreement, it opens a very big market for us. So this is not a small matter. This is a very big matter. And I think it's particularly critical because it's another important leg that we need as we push for industry recovery.
The recent export agreement comes after a foreign affairs delegation traveled to Taiwan. Senior trade economist Beresford Codd was a part of the team.
In 2014, we were about around $90 million in exports, significant production around different operations around the country. That number has fallen off significantly. We're usually anywhere between $2 to $3 million in exports since then. But so this is a great opportunity for us in Belize, a great shot in the arm to allow us to start ramping up back production and tapping into that high value market.
Behind every successful export deal is a team making sure the product is up to standard, and Belize's shrimp industry is no exception. The Belize Agricultural Health Authority played a key role in getting Belize's shrimp ready for the Taiwanese market. From farm inspections to food safety protocols, their work was crucial in sealing the deal. Dr. Natalie Gibson, Baja's Technical Director of Food Safety, gave us an inside look at how they ensured Belizean shrimp met Taiwan's strict import standards and why that matters for the future of the industry.
We regulate the processing facilities, we approve and register, we monitor to ensure that they're adhering to good hygiene practices, and in some cases HACCP as well. Some of the facilities, we have annual audits for their HACCP system, which is a more advanced food safety management system than your basic hygiene. So that, the good hygiene practices, that entails the structure of the facility, the design to prevent contamination, the practices, the procedures.
And get this, Taiwan's shrimp market is so massive, it could easily buy up every single shrimp Belize produces. But Belize's shrimp industry is still in recovery mode. So, is this export deal just a great idea on paper? Or does Belize need to ramp up investment to meet demands of a high-end market like Taiwan?
It's never too early to open a market for a product. The fact that we have done it now, and it has taken a while, like we mentioned, it's been 3 years in the making. It provides us a level of certainty, and by us I mean the Belizean community, the business community in particular, provides them a level of certainty that a market will be there when they ramp up production. So certainly more investment will be needed to increase the quantity of supply. It's good to know that our quality is recognized across in these highly developed markets. But certainly more investment will be needed by the private sector to really step up to meet the needs of the market.
While Henderson says it's a big step for the local industry, he stressed the importance of ensuring that the initial market entry is well managed.
Even if we had significant volumes that could go into that market quickly, I would caution us against it. I think the market entry in Taiwan needs to be gradual, and it's something we've spoken to the buyers about. And the reason is it's a very sophisticated market. I remember many years ago when we first went into the French market, we did a similar approach. While we had significant production on the ground, our target was just the first 1 or 2 containers entering the market, because the first market entry really matters, because it provides it creates an impact for an industry reputation from a destination, in this case Belize.
Belizean seafood isn't exactly new to Taiwan. In fact, they've already been enjoying our lobster for a while now. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
There's a new underwater threat lurking in our rivers. And no, it's not from a sci-fi movie. It's called the devilfish, or pez diablo, and it's making headlines for all the wrong reasons. This armored catfish isn't native to Belize. It slipped in through the Rio Hondo from Mexico and is now spreading through the already stressed New River. And the damage? It's real. These fish gobble up food meant for native species, dig into riverbanks causing erosion, and even knock down trees. They're literally reshaping the river, and not in a good way. To make matters worse, they can survive on land for hours, giving them even more chances to spread. The Department of the Environment is sounding the alarm. Don't move them, don't introduce them elsewhere. The full impact is still being studied, but this is one fish Belize doesn't want swimming around. When we return, new rule aims to clear roads of house halls.
Man, my house done.
Already?
Hey, who that? Oh, yo, what's up, bro? Just Western Union mom's a little money using DigiWallet. Uncle in the States, and me too, same app using DigiWallet. Bro, this is too easy. I can do this from anywhere. No lines, no hassle, it's just easy. All right, gotta run, bro. Take it easy.
For back to school with Benny's B-Books. We have limited edition Benny's exercise and composition books just in time for the new school year. Get 6 composition books for 5 B-Bucks and 12 exercise books for only 2 B-Bucks. Benny's and B-Bucks, getting you ready for back to school.
We are ready for back to school. Are you?
Man, one more scroll and my data is done.
Wait, who said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data so you can scroll till your fingers cramp.
Enjoy free social media data now included in our Flex Choice and Select postpaid plans.
Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number and send it to Smart Code 585. Here are this week's contestants.
Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong.
So when you're feeling down, just not forget for pray. When things seem bad, He will always make a way. His love is for real and it is here to stay. Keep you on His spots and never make you go astray. Me have to say, I can't live without you. I can't breathe without you. Oh God, I wouldn't be me without you now.
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days out here all through, yeah, there's a place all there for people like you.
Hands and proclaim, my God, how great Thou art. Then sings my soul.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight, and don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on Greater Belize Media.
Ever seen a house being moved down the highway? Well, if you have, you won't be seeing it during rush hour anymore. The Transport Department is laying down new rules. Moving houses can now only happen at night. That's right, between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. Why the change? Officials say they've been flooded with complaints. These massive hauls have been causing traffic jams, damaging property, and creating serious safety risks, especially during peak hours. So to keep the roads clear and drivers safe, house hauling is now strictly a nighttime affair.
We are trying to find a balancing approach to the situation. We do understand the need for the business people to be able to move their houses from point A to point B. But we also have to understand the need for commuters and users of the highway to be able to use the highway as much as possible without any impediment. And the houses on our highways during the day, and especially at times during peak hours, certainly renders our commuters and other road users to some extent makes it inadequate for them to be able to traverse the roadways. And so we looked at the whole situation. We tried to find a time when we believe that it is going to be less inconvenient to the other road users. We were looking at Sundays only, but again we did an analysis and we realized that on Sundays the highways are busy because we have people who are coming back from weekend, maybe in the south or in the west, or from Chetamal or whatever. So we do find that Sundays, especially in the evening time, the highways are extremely busy. So the analysis we did showed that the least traffic is in the evening time or in the night time between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. And so we decided that we were going to allow the houses to be moved on the highways between that time. Again, I know it is not going to be convenient to everybody. There are going to be those who will still have their negative comments, and there are going to be those who are going to be happy with the move.
But here's something to think about. Could moving houses only at night actually make things riskier? And what about the builders? They might now have to pay extra to get crews working those late hours. These are some of the concerns being raised, and we put these questions directly to CEO Williams to get his take.
Well, at the end of the day, they want to move their houses. It will come at a cost to them. They will have to take the cost. And again, we are strict that these escorts must have 2 vehicles, 1 lead vehicle and 1 rear guard. And these vehicles must have proper lighting. And likewise, the vehicle that is carrying the house must also have proper lighting and proper, how you call it, the thing that is going to make road users know the measurement of the house that is on the highway. Okay. So they must have all those things in place to be able to traverse on the highways. And if it is that they're found on the highway without these things that we have stipulated, then they're going to be sanctioned. I have seen many occasions as we stand now that many a times these houses are moved on the highways at night time, and there is no reflector on the house to show that a house is in front of you. At one point, I almost ran into one because there was nothing to show that the house was on the highway. We need to make sure that, again, that there is proper lighting to notify road users of the presence of the houses on the highway as they traverse.
According to Williams, a meeting is scheduled with industry stakeholders to discuss the changes being implemented. This morning in Belize City, Tuk Tuk Belize Tour Services launched the region's first fleet of electric and solar-powered tricycles, marking a historic milestone in sustainable tourism and eco-transportation. The company, led by entrepreneur Tanisha Vernon, introduced 8 tuk-tuks and 1 pedal lounge during a ceremony held at Belize Memorial Park. It's an educational and cultural experience designed to showcase Belize's history and landmarks in a fun and interactive way. Reporter Tanya Arceo was at the Memorial Park and got a look inside this innovative launch. Here's her story.
Putting eco-friendly innovation in the spotlight, Tuk Tuk Belize Tour Services has redefined what it means to explore the streets of Belize City. These electric and solar-powered tuk-tuks are more than a trendy way to travel. They're a commitment to eco-friendly tourism and cultural immersion. The service will offer guided tours both day and night, led by licensed tour guides. Passengers will experience Belizean history through interactive stops, museums, and landmarks. Tanisha Vernon shares what motivated her journey as a businesswoman.
The inspiration started after the COVID about 4 years ago. I'm an avid traveler, and we had a death in our family, and so we visited Petén, Guatemala, and they had the traditional old school tuk-tuks. And for that split second, we were mourning and we were going through our loss, but I felt so much joy driving and riding, just nothing special about it, but for me, it had given me a feeling that lived on for a moment. And I'm like, how can I bring something like this to Belize? We're so close to Guatemala, and yet we don't have anything similar like this in our country. And after that, I did my research, and I was lucky to find a manufacturing company that could have customized it in a more environmental friendly way.
Beyond business, Vernon hopes this new mode of transportation will change how people look at traversing Belize City, especially through the lens of sustainability and national pride.
I believe with true education, and they're seeing, I believe that when people see, we can say all the nice words, we can, talk about sustainability, we can talk about all these other things, but having it in real time and to give people the opportunity and having a price point that gives locals the opportunity to experience what others get to experience in Thailand, in Asia, in Africa. We're now bringing that to Belize, and I'm just so grateful to be that person to introduce this product into our country.
With games like Tuk Tuk Bingo and a karaoke pedal lounge for night tours, this experience blends education with entertainment, bringing families, tourists, and even locals together.
In addition to that, we have our night tour as well, and that's more the life where we get to give and partner with other businesses and hotels. So you could go bar hopping. We have our pedal lounge, which is karaoke on wheels. You get to have family time, connect, sing, and have healthy fun in Belize City. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Belize City, like I said, is the main hub, and we do have future plans to expand countrywide, but for now, I just want to enjoy my city.
Right now, the spotlight is on Belize City, but the vision behind these eco-trikes is much bigger. These solar-powered rides are available for private events, birthdays, even corporate functions, and at just $25 an hour, they're designed to be affordable and impactful. Tanya Arceo reporting for News 5.
Up next, author turns pain into poetry and healing.
Poseidón presenta Los Cumbia Kings. Los Cumbia Kings en concierto. Este 30 de agosto en el Estadio del Pueblo, Orange World Belice. Los Cumbia Kings en vivo. No tengo dinero, nada que dar. No te pierdas el concierto del año que te hará bailar como nunca. General 150, VIP 200 y Platino $350. Boletos a la venta en la aplicación WePass, disponible en Android y iPhone. También con Orange Drag con cuellos, Shell One Stop, María's Café, Lifestyle Beauty Salon y WSK Call Center al 611-3677. Amor Turquesa, Boutique Belmopá. Gracias al patrocinio de
BTV, Mechas, Cuellos, Lock and Loaded, Mar Production, Quick Pass, Lighthouse,
Instituto Nacional de Cultura e Historia y Smart Belice.
Dengue and Zika alert. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. The Ministry of Health reminds the public that as we enter the rainy season, be aware of the dangers of dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. These are infectious diseases that are transmitted by the bite of Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. These mosquitoes are most active in early morning and late afternoon. Activities that should be done to prevent dengue and Zika include: avoid having containers that can collect water in your yard. Cover water storage containers such as drums. Change the water in flower pots every 4 or 5 days. These are ideal breeding sites for the mosquito. With the elimination of breeding sites in and around the yard, dengue and Zika can be avoided. Dengue and Zika begin with sudden onset of high fever. Other signs and symptoms include rash, joint pain, eye pain. The public is also encouraged to use mosquito repellent spray or lotion on the body or clothing. Do your part by preventing mosquito breeding. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to smart code 585. Here are this week's contestants.
Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong.
So when you're feeling down, just not forget for pray. When things seem bad, He will always make a way. His love is for real and it is here to stay. Keep you on the spots and never make you go astray. Me have to say, I can't live without you. I can't breathe without you. Oh God, I wouldn't be me without you now.
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days out here all through, yeah, there's a place out there for people like you.
Hands and proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee.
With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I'm gonna sing.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight, and don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on Greater Belize Media.
Easy. Accessible. Safe. Yours. Digi Wallet. Easy, accessible, safe, yours.
Bernadette Francisco, author of Real Life Stories, A Path to Healing, describes her book as a deeply personal reflection, a kind of journal that captures her lived experiences and emotional journey. Encouraged by her therapist to document her thoughts, the book became a form of therapy to navigate her healing journey while living with anxiety and depression. Poetry, she says, became her safe space, a way to express what words sometimes could not. Coupled with prayer, writing offered a path forward. Aware that mental health remains a taboo topic for many, Bernadette hopes her openness will resonate with others who may be suffering in silence. Through her book, she seeks to spark conversations and offer hope to those quietly carrying emotional pain.
It was only an outlet for me to share what I was thinking, what were my thoughts. And then in therapy, my doctor, Dr. Rosado, she mentioned to me, I really enjoy reading your poems. I think that you should publish these because there are a lot of people that are going through similar experiences that are worse than mine. And it can be a form of inspiration to them.
The book is deeply rooted in themes of anxiety, depression, and healing. How did writing become a tool for your personal transformation?
I always enjoyed writing poems. From when I was a little girl, I've been writing. And so whenever I would feel depressed or down or whenever I'm overthinking, it's something similar to journaling, but I turned them into poetry.
You mentioned stepping out of your comfort zone. What was the biggest challenge in opening up so vulnerably through your poetry?
Sometimes we look at the stigma surrounding anxiety, the stigma surrounding depression, mental health. And of course, some of these stories are very personal. And my thoughts were that, like, how would I be viewed, right? Knowing that you suffered through all these things. But then I said, these are my stories. These are what happened to me. I'm not ashamed of them. They have helped me. They have helped shape me into the person that I am. They are helping me grow. And so I said, if writing them, it could help inspire other people, so why not do it? I currently have most of the books, but we have them now at theaters, stationery and books. And then they will also be available at bookstore in Belmopan and Mayamopan. The book is for $30 each. Also finalizing having them on Amazon, which should be finalized before the ending of this month.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.